It is ambidextrous. It is ambidextrous. Damn it. Ambidextrous. Ambidextrous. Yeah, ambidextrous. Yeah, close enough. Hello and welcome back. This is Chris with Marksman Shooting Sports and CheapGunsUSA.com, based out of Westfield, Indiana, and you are watching Marksman TV. Today we will be doing a tabletop review and side-by-side comparison of the HK VP9 and the Walther PPQ M2. Both are in 9mm. We will be starting with an unboxing, and then we will do a general side-by-side tabletop comparison of the two. If that sounds interesting to you, please stick around. That's coming up now. Alright, we'll go ahead and start with an unboxing of the Walther, and we'll go ahead and open up these two tabs and open the box up here. Inside we will find the pistol with a chamber flag. We'll go ahead and remove that. Here we will also find our spare 15-round magazine and a speed loader. There is already a 15-round magazine inserted in the pistol. Here we do have two additional backstrap panels, one size smaller and one size larger than the one already installed on the firearm. Here is our gun safety lock. If we remove this panel back here, we will find our factory test target, as well as our instructional and warranty information. Okay, now we'll go ahead and get into the HK VP9. We'll go ahead and open up these two tabs here and open this up. Inside we will find the handgun. We'll go ahead and pull that out and check that it is clear. There is one 15-round magazine already inserted. We will find a spare 15-round magazine here, as well as a speed loader. We have our interchangeable backstrap panels, one size smaller, one size larger. We will also find a set of interchangeable side grip panels, which interchange onto the side of the pistol here, which you don't typically see on too many firearms. Getting under here, we'll go ahead and open up the top panel. We will find our gun safety lock and instructional and warranty information. Now we will get into the overall specifications of the two. The PPQ M2 does have an overall length of 7.1 inches, a barrel length of 4 inches, an overall height of 5.3 inches, and an overall weight of 24.5 ounces. The VP9 has an overall length of 7.34 inches, a barrel length of 4.09 inches, an overall height of 5.41 inches, and an overall weight of 25.56 ounces. Getting into the slide construction of each, the Walther PPQ is a machined slide out of a single piece of bar stock and does have a matte tenifer finish on both the slide and the barrel. I'll bring it in close here. You can see these really nice rear and forward slide serrations on both sides of the pistol. We do have our PPQ graphics here, as well as our Walther banner. The sights on the top are of a 3-dot configuration. The front sight is fixed and the rear sight is dovetailed and drift adjustable, and the sights are made of polymer. On the top of the slide you will see a ribbed serration that is to mitigate glare coming back at you as you're sighting. The VP9 also has a machined slide and uses what HK calls its hostile environment treatment. I did a lot of reading online, and the speculation is that it is a nitride or a melanite type finish with some sort of black oxide coating. Here you will find nice slide serrations on both the forward and the rear of the pistol. HK did add what they call their patented grip assisting tabs here, so it's easier to grip onto to rack the slide to the rear, which actually is true. It's very, very easy to grip onto that and pull that to the rear, so that is a very nice feature. It also has a nice oversized extractor to help you with a more positive extraction. On the top we will find our sights, which are of a 3-dot configuration. They have that nice yellow type of coloring to it for it's easier for your eye to pick up, and those are luminescent. They do glow in the dark. Both the front and the rear are dovetailed and are windage adjustable, but not elevation adjustable. And the rear sight is sloped, so better for not snagging onto clothes as you're reholstering your firearm. Also, they are metal in construction. On the rear of the slide, you will see an armed striker indicator noted through a little porthole here. You'll see that red. You might not be able to pick that up too well on the camera, but when you pull the trigger, that striker drops and that goes out of the way, indicating that you no longer have a arm striker in your pistol. The trigger on the Walther PPQ M2 does have the trigger safety tab here, similar to what you will find on a Glock. The trigger is polymer in construction. Walther does advertise a pull weight of 5.6 pounds. There is some creep and take up here, a little bit of travel, but the break is very, very clean after you get past that take up. Reset, again, very nice. You just start to let go and the reset's right there. So it's actually very short reset, a lot of creep at first to get to that break, but the reset is actually very smooth and happens very quickly. The trigger on the VP9 is also polymer in construction and does have that trigger tab there, trigger safety, just like we saw on the PPQ. This is advertised as having a trigger pull weight of 5.4 pounds. The trigger pull itself is very nice with a little bit of take up right there. We get past that take up and there is a nice clean break. The reset is also very short, just like on the PPQ. I start to let go and right there it resets. If I had to guess it myself, I would say the VP9 has a better trigger pull. You get past that take up a lot quicker, has a much nicer break, but the PPQ does have a shorter and faster reset, which could be better for quicker follow-up shots. They both have their pluses and minuses. If I would have it my way, I would choose the initial pull of a VP9 and the reset of a PPQ. We'll go ahead and get into the disassembly of the Walther PPQ M2. I will start by removing my magazine and checking that I am clear. Then, kind of similar to a Glock, we have little takedown tabs here, so I will pull the trigger and then pull the slide slightly to the rear and then pull down on those tabs, releasing the slide from the frame. Then I can take out my recoil spring and my barrel. That quick, and we are field stripped. This is a single spring, single guide rod configuration, and the guide rod is polymer. Getting into the disassembly of the VP9, I will go ahead and remove my magazine and check that we are clear. I will then lock the slide to the rear, and then on the left hand side I will find my takedown lever, which I will push down. Then I can very carefully release my slide and let it come forward and then off the frame. Here I will then find my recoil spring, which is a single guide rod, single spring, and the guide rod is steel in construction. I can then extract my barrel out and we are field stripped. Getting into the frames now, starting with the PPQ. The PPQ is a polymer frame. It does have steel guide rails for the slide, and all of your internal main components are steel in construction. The slide rails, in my opinion, are pretty narrow and pretty small, and back behind it is a polymer shelf for reinforcing, which when we look at the VP9, I think the VP9 looks a little bit more robust in my opinion. Does it mean that this isn't adequate enough to run the firearm reliably? I'm sure it is fine, but if you want a little bit of that extra strength, we'll take a look at the VP9, kind of its differences there. The magazine release is set up for a right-handed shooter, but it is ambidextrous and can be removed and placed on the other side. The grip is very nice and textured. It's not overly aggressive, and you do see these little ridges here, which is great for getting that kind of positive feel in that kind of the meat of your hand. You also have ridges here for your fingers. This does have interchangeable back straps, which we did go over when we showed the unboxing. This is the medium. It also comes with a large and a small, so it can be customized to a different shooter. The slide stop and the slide release lever are ambidextrous as well. The VP9 is also polymer in construction and does have those steel components on the inside. As we saw in the PPQ, this is the comparison. Those slots, that rail there for your slide, just seem to be a lot larger and beefier and better reinforced in my opinion. Again, not to say that it has to be like this in order to be reliable. I'm sure the PPQ is just fine, but there is a little bit, I think, better construction there. All your other internal components are steel in construction and do have that hostile environment treatment on there, which again I think is kind of just another word for saying melanite. It does have ambidextrous slide stop release levers here and here. Now this one seems to be, it's more of a connected to the other side, not as positive a grip here as it is here, so it is a little bit different, and it's more suitable for a right-handed shooter, but also the magazine release is a paddle style release inside the trigger guard. Common feature you'll find on some German firearms. Walther makes like the PPS, for example, which has the same style, and the P99. So this could be used by a left-handed shooter as well. This also does have interchangeable backstrap panels, which we saw in the unboxing, as well as the interchangeable side panels as well. So you can really do a lot to change the ergonomics of the grip to fit your feel. The overall stippling on here, or the grip texture, is actually very, very similar to what we see on the PPQ, which is not overly aggressive, which personally I like. Finishing off with the barrels, we do have the PPQ M2 barrel here, which is a length of 4 inches. It is a carbon steel construction, 1 in 10 right-hand twist, and is polygonal. Now the HK is also polygonal rifling, and the advantage of polygonal rifling is really twofold. It creates a better seal behind your round as it's traveling through the barrel, which gives you a lot more back pressure and a lot higher velocity. On traditional rifling, you can get gas bleeding around the front of the projectile as it's traveling through the barrel, which can cause a little bit of reduction in velocity as compared to polygonal. The other advantage of polygonal rifling is it does enhance the lifetime of your barrel. Some people estimate it can actually outperform traditional rifling by up to 10 to 20,000 rounds, which is pretty significant. Now, to most people who are recreational shooters, you're not really gonna, I don't think, most people aren't gonna put that many rounds through it. So if you are though, and these are both, really the concept for both of these handguns is as a service pistol, so something that's supposed to see a lot of use. So they are both designed for that if that is something you're interested in. Getting into that, then the HK is also polygonal rifled, and it is 6 screw 1 in 10 right hand twist as well, and it is cold hammer forged. Both of the finishes on these are the same finishes used on their respective firearm slides as well. Getting here into the VP9, we do see nice polishing here on the feed ramp, and here on the PPQ barrel we also see a very nice polished feed ramp. Well, that's all the time we have for you today on these. I'd like to thank you again for stopping by and watching. If you enjoyed that, please consider hitting that like button. If you have any questions, leave us a comment down in the comment section. Again, this is Chris with Marksman Shooting Sports and CheapGunsUSA.com in Westfield, Indiana. We will see you next time.